Jackie, you eating that donut? Mm-hmm. I didn't see one for me. Oh,
They're
there?
back there.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Jackie said, "I got you."
Want to make sure you're not hiding it. I do. Ready when you are, Harris. I have Simply Red in mind. Holding back the years, holding back the tears from all I know. Oh, we're live. Hello. I was just doing some improvisational singing there for anybody who is watching us. I was expecting a countdown, Harris. I was waiting for my go. Oh, I was just goofing, but yeah, all right. Good morning, Ahiah, and all of the community out there. Anybody who's tuning in at any point, either live with us right now or in the future, we are so glad to see you. My name is Peter Bedard. I am your practitioner for today, and please join me in doing our meditation. So if you will, get yourself comfortable. Get me some tunes there, Chris. Our amazing Chris Glick is going to accompany us during this meditation. I love Chris's tinkling on that synthesizer, I guess it is. So if you will, take a nice deep breath. I was recognizing earlier that, at least for me, breath is that connection with the divine, and it is available at any moment, at any moment. God is that breath. God is the world that we exist in. God is the consciousness. And I know when I breathe, my consciousness expands. So I invite you to just close your eyes, get yourself comfortable, and breathe with me now. As abundance is our topic for this month of fundraising for the Centers for Spiritual Living, of really connecting, of being part of the flow of the divine, the law of reciprocity. For today's meditation, I wanted to focus on that understanding of abundance. That spiritual principle that is God, that is the divine itself. And sometimes I get caught up. I get caught up in my human fears, worries, and I forget my abundance. And so right now I invite you to remember the truth of you, that who you are is abundance, that who you are is a direct emanation from the divine. And whatever parts of your human brain that are saying things like my brain used to say, things like money doesn't grow on trees, or any judgment of your value or limitation, I say to that part of my brain, thank you. Thank you for trying to protect me with that fear that closes me down or hides me away. I understand that it's your way of protecting me, and to that fear I say thank you. And in saying thank you to that part of me that is limited, I understand it more deeply. I say thank you to it, and I love you. You're just doing the best you can. And I take its hand and I guide it over to the philosophies of Ernest Holmes, to the understanding of so many other deep spiritual intuition principles. I guide it over, I grab its hand and I guide it over to the abundance that God is. And so I invite you right now to hold the hand of any limitation, to hold the hand of fear, of judgment, or worry, or lack, to say thank you to it and I love you, to hold it in that love, to shower it with that love, and to watch it as it receives that love, and to show it the goodness that is God. God only knows abundance. God only knows prosperity. God does not know poverty. And so I say thank you to God, and I bring that part of me that loves and trying to protect me in its own limited way, and I show it the goodness of the divine. And so I'm inviting you to take a moment, and to show that part of you, that human part of you that maybe understands lack or has evidence of lack in your life right now, to say thank you and I love you, and to show it the goodness of God. To breathe in that abundance that's available to you right now by just simply taking a deep, deep breath. And God is always giving. And so I'm going to invite you to be greedy, to take as much breath as you need, as you want right now. To breathe in that ever-expanding goodness that God is, that infinite love, that infinite prosperity, that infinite abundance. To breathe it in with me right now. To hold it for a moment, to let your lungs receive that goodness, to sip in a little bit more, to let your lungs expand and feel that goodness that flows into your heart, and to give that goodness, that abundance, a color. To let that experience go from being one only in a thought to being a feeling in your body. Feel that color of abundance, of prosperity, of the overflowing goodness that God is. Feel that color. Breathe it in. Color is an emotional experience. When we feel a color, if that color is scary, our body feels that scary. If that color is bright and luminescence, full of light, we feel that too. And so breathe in the color of prosperity now. Feel it move into your body. Meditate upon that color in this moment of silence now. Your thoughts create an experience in your body. We have a thought, and the body releases different chemicals, hormones in our body that create feelings. So right now, have a thought, a color of abundance. For me, that color is a golden, shimmering, sparkling light. And I embrace that thought. I breathe that in, and I feel that golden, shimmering, sparkling light down deep inside me. I breathe it deep inside me. And I know that that color is the color of abundance, my connection with that divine spiritual quality. And I let that color be filled. I let that color be me. As I breathe it in, I watch that color expand through my lungs. I feel it move into my heart with that breath. And I watch it now with my heartbeat, with the pulse of my heart as that color pulses through my veins, as it flows into every fiber and tissue of my being, filling me up. I am filled with the goodness, the abundance of the God that I know, that I understand, that is my truth. I am filled with that. I let it shine through my pores. I let it sparkle through my eyes. I let it be expressed in my words. I know it in my mind, with my body, in my soul. And I engage in the affluence of God now and in this moment. I engage. Yes. And I'm inviting you to remember this breath. This breath that now is anchored into that golden, shimmering, sparkling light. This breath that now understands in the knowing physically the color of this experience, the breathing it in, that feeling that is understood in my cells. I know this breath. And as I engage in this breath, in this moment in my life, I know it is anchored now. And from this moment on, when I think of that beautiful golden light, I consciously pause to take that breath. My whole body dives into this experience of abundance. It expands and shines through my cells, through my body, through the pores of my skin. And every day, in every way, when I take that moment to pause and breathe, consciously and subconsciously, I am engaging in my prosperity, and I am reminding myself of the truth of me, of the prosperity and the abundance of my oneness with the divine. And I'm going to invite you to keep breathing, to take 3 wide, deep breaths in that silence, to remember that light, that color as it pulses through your veins, to know it is your understanding of the love, the divine, the prosperity, and the abundance. To breathe it in now. 3 deep breaths. I am. The prosperity and abundance that God is. I am. Yes. 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 Thank you for taking this moment of pause. Thank you for breathing in that goodness. Thank you for remembering your truth. No matter what human evidence in front of you that is in front of you, you know, I affirm that truth that you are the goodness, the prosperity, and the abundance of the divine. I feel it in my cells. I know it in my body. And I thank you for bringing this more into the world today and every day. I thank you. And please just take a moment to continue this meditation if you like. We're going to start our service in just a few minutes. Thank you for joining us. Once again, my name is Peter Bedard. I am grateful for you. And let's have God's party. Namaste.
How are we doing? Oh, cool. Yeah. All right. This is actually a song that my wife, Deborah Glick, and I wrote together a long time ago. So it's called Spirit Light. When it all just seems so hard, life just seems too much to bear. Take a moment and look inside. You know it's there. You'll find a light that guides you. If the world has got you down, don't just look around. Go inside and feel the love. God is there holding you in His arms. Knowing that you're always in my heart. Gives me strength when I'm called to play my part. Knowing that you're always at my side lets me know that everything will be alright. I'm filled with the power of Spirit. In God I put my trust. You are my beloved and my soul. Wings unfurled, spirit soar. Let your light shine through. Thank you.
Well, good morning, Ahiah, and welcome to live service from beautiful downtown Pasadena, California, USA, right in the heart of the theater district. This is the Ahiah Center for Spiritual Living, and we are live streaming live service celebrating God's party. Happy Halloween. In case you're wondering, I am disguised as a human being. I know I look like one, but there's more than meets the eye. Indeed. So good to see all of you here. And you are so fortunate because you're in the middle of the theme, dancing the rhythm of prosperity. Huh? How you like that? Billionaire consciousness. That's what we're talking about. Taking it to the next level. And you already got a sense of the consciousness of our beloved practitioner of the day, who I love to call the effervescent Peter Bedard. Peter's energy will definitely take you to the moon and bring you back to the ground. You got a sense of the Ahiah Sunday band. That was Chris Glick over there tickling those keyboards. Chris? Mm-hmm. And accompanying him is Leon Johnson on the bass. And holding up the rhythm, the percussions, Brian Menifee, beloved board member and percussionist. And our musical inspiration today, taking us back home, is Clark Long in the house. Good to see you, Clark. Good to see you. Yes, indeed. I've seen some of those movies that you're doing, too, out there. You're just popping up everywhere, so thank you so much for joining us. And today is the Ahiah family picnic afterwards. So if you like Zuzus and Wham Whams, just a spoiler alert, Troy is out there in the parking lot cooking up some Q. So if you haven't tasted Troy's wares yet, make sure you stay. And the kids are out in the courtyard. I saw Hannah out there working with our new practitioner and children's director, Lisa. So the kids are cooking up some stuff. And gosh, I see so many familiar faces. And we just welcome you to our celebration of life today. And speaking of celebration of life, I would like to ask for you to join with me in consciousness as we just take a moment to send light to the eternal life of our beloved Arlene Toy, who made her transition yesterday. If you would just join with me as we just send her light, knowing that right where Arlene is, God is, that all is working together for the highest good. We bless her. We bless her light, her joy. Thank you, family. Thank you. And we will have more information about Arlene's homegoing celebration. I did see an email thread that Kurt was talking about maybe doing a Zoom memorial for Arlene. So please stay tuned on that. We will keep you posted. And so the theme today is dancing the music of God. Reverend Scott will be delivering our wisdom talk today. And why don't we get God's party started? There's a beautiful meditation video coming up. So please join with me as we turn within and just contemplate these beautiful images and music. Namaste.
Every day is so wonderful, then suddenly it's hard to breathe. And now and then I get insecure from all the pain. I'm so ashamed. I am beautiful no matter what they say. Yes, words can't bring me down. I am beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring me down. Oh no, so don't you bring me down today. to all your friends, you're delirious, so consumed in all you're doing, trying hard to fill the emptiness. The piece is gone, let the puzzle undone, ain't the way it is. You are beautiful, no matter what they say. Yes, words can bring me down. You are beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can bring you down. Oh no, so don't you bring me down today. No matter what we do, no matter what we say, yeah, yeah, oh, the sun will always shine on the other side. We are beautiful, no matter what they say. Yes, words won't bring us down. We are beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can bring us down. Oh no, so don't you bring me down today. Oh no, so don't you bring me down today.
All right, so good morning, everyone. And so we didn't quite get our music for meditation here, but I do know that people online got to enjoy it, so that's wonderful. And I'm going to go ahead and ask Peter Bedard to come on up, and he's going to do our reading and our invocation. In whichever order he wants.
Well, thank you very much. Hi, everybody. Welcome on back. Well, first of all, I had to acknowledge. Oh, is it better with that? So I needed to acknowledge that I don't know if y'all, I don't want to scare y'all, but I'm wearing my costume. This is my costume. I don't know if you recognize me. I don't wear shirt and ties often. So I just, yeah. Sandra, this one's for you. I'm wearing a shirt and tie. I thought of you this morning when I put it on. All right. Today's reading. We have two quotes. The title is Inexhaustible Supply. Is it still picking up okay? Yeah? Okay, good. So this is Christian D. Larson. When we enter the spiritual life, we gain every quality that is required in making life full and complete in our own state of being. And we gain the power to produce and create in the external world whatever we may need or desire. And from Ernest Holmes, this is a beautiful thought, that we are fed from the table of the universe, whose board is ever spread with blessedness and peace, whose loving kindness has never been fathomed, whose grace and truth are the cornerstone of reality. And our reading, if you only knew how much you are loved and cared for, you would fear nothing, acting as though this whole universe is here to love and support you. And yet we suffer. We suffer because we don't believe it. And in our lack of belief, we push away the very things we so desire in the deepest part of our being. Faith is a tricky thing, isn't it? Believing in what you cannot see. But faith is what you cannot see. Faith in what you cannot see is everything. Socrates said, know thyself. In the beginning, in the knowing of self, we come to realize our divine essence. We begin to see that we are more than just these flesh and bone bodies. We begin to see that we can tap into the divine nature of the universe. We realize we are never alone. We realize we are loved unconditionally and that we are creators of our own universe. No matter what is going on in the outer world, the craziness, the confusion, the fear, and we rise above all that into the light. We do so because there is a divine light within us, which transcends all things. We rise above the din and confusion. We are in the flow and moving in life with ease and grace. Everything is going our way because we resist nothing. I need to remember that. Everything is going my way because I resist nothing. Instead, we are part of the all. We are fed at the inexhaustible table of the divine, and ultimately our greatest expression is one of gratitude and thanksgiving. We are willing now to transcend this world of appearances into true reality. And our affirmation, I release my fear and sense of separation. All is good because all is God. And if you just take a moment with me to just ponder those words. Father, Mother, God, Pachapapa, Pachamama, creator of all things. I know I am that creation. I am that emanation of the divine. I am one and living and breathing in the consciousness of God. And in that consciousness, I know I am perfect health. I know that I am abundance. I know that that is my truth. No matter what evidence appears before me, that who I am is that truth of God. And in that knowing, I declare that for myself with the absolute faith and understanding that what is true for me is true for every experience, every living being on this planet, in this universe. And so I claim that goodness not only for myself, but for each and every one of you. And I participate in that affluence. I participate in that reciprocity of the divine by saying, thank you. I accept, I receive that goodness. I take it into my being, and I say thank you. And so in this truth, in this moment, in this reciprocity, in this experience with the divine flow, I plant this seed into my conscious knowing that it is good and very good. I release it out in the world with absolute faith. And I simply say, thank you. And so it is.
Thank you, Peter. And so now it's time for Clark. Come on up. We'll put you in the middle of the frame here somewhere. Oh, is the camera over here? Got it. And there we go.
All right, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. This song that we can all identify with, you've heard it before, Elton John. I'm just going to do my interpretation of it. Is that sometimes in life we have trials and tribulations, and sometimes we get caught up, as Peter was saying, in the outer world instead of going inside. And when you go inside, you get that stillness, and you can hear that sweet voice within, because it only comes once. And when it comes, it tells you the truth, and you act upon it, and a lot of your problems, sometimes they disappear. So I want to share this with you. It's called, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Okay, can you guys feel the love?
Yeah.
Can you feel my love? Okay, here we go. there's a calm surrender to the wake of day. When the trials of this restless world can be turned away, God's enchanted spirit and it sees me through. It's enough for my restless spirit just to be near God. And can you feel God's love within? It is where God is. Good enough for every one of us to do our very best. You feel God's love within. It is where God is. Oh, it's enough to make every one of us to do our very best. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a time for everyone if we only learn that the trial of this restless world can be turned around. There's a time and reason to this restless world. That's when all the hearts of mankind beats in tune with God. And can you feel God's love within? That is where God is. Oh, it's enough to make every one of us to do our very best. And can you feel God's love within? It is where God is. It's enough to make every one of us to do our very best. It's enough to make every one of us to do our very best.
Oh, thank you, Clark. Thank you. Oh, I'm looking out here. I'm seeing a lot of hungry people. They're all going, I know the food is right outside those doors. I better speak fast, huh? Oh, well, we can all tell it's Halloween, right? I would hope that you know by my outfit that it's Halloween. And that this is also the prosperity season. Awakening Abundant Living. We've got Gabriel has been outdoing himself this year once again. We have Nancy Williams has been helping him. And so we have extra whooshes and we have a chandelier, which I'm not sure how much you're seeing online, but we got a chandelier and we got all sorts of stuff going on, and it's good. It's just good. So I'm going to just take a look real fast at this. Oh, there it went. I actually have sound again, so that's good. All right. So I want to welcome you to the second week now. So we've done the first week of the Awakening Abundant Living, and this year the theme is Dancing the Rhythm of Prosperity. Oh, and Frederick's back. Hey, Frederick, it's good to see you. Oh, it's so nice seeing people here I haven't seen for a while. It really is. So we're down in this place of rhythm. We're talking about rhythm. We're talking about how the universe is supporting us in the rhythm of life. And I know that we have our own rhythm. We have a rhythm that is unique to us. We get to march to the beat of our own drum, not anybody else's drum, our own drum, or cymbals or mariachis. I don't really care, right? You get to dance to whatever you want. It's your drum. And so as we dance to that, as we move around to that natural rhythm that is ours, we start dancing. Now, last week the talk was the Prosperity Orchestra, and we had all sorts of stuff, but we talked primarily about how spirit is the source of all of our good. And we said that we are the ones who are the directors of our own prosperity. We are the directors of our prosperity orchestra, in that we hire and fire people. We give them their instruments. We give them the sheet music that they're playing in reality. And then we said you should focus on one of 4 areas at a time. So there's 4 areas of prosperity, and you should either focus on your health, your wealth, your relationships, or your creativity, how that creativity shows up. And then last of all, I talked about Marianne Williamson has talked about transactions versus transformation. And so we have transactions when we're like, well, what do I do? And we get lost in those transactions because we can't quite figure out what to do. But if we focus on transformations, then we can figure out the transactions that just naturally go with the transformation that we want in our lives. So I'm going to pause for a second, and I'm going to invite Charmaine McClary to come on up. She's going to do a little bit of sharing about the prosperity in her life. And so I've got a microphone for you here, and we're going to ask Harris where you should stand.
Right here?
It looks good. Gave you the thumbs up.
Let me just say this, if I may.
Microphone.
Closer.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you. I wanted to say this is thank you so much for being here, Ahiah community.
Mm-hmm.
You are so incredible, and I am so grateful to each and every one of you, and happy to be here today.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm just going to ask Charmaine a couple of questions. The first one is, how long have you been at Ahiah? How long have you been coming?
That's an interesting question,
Yeah.
because I've been visiting Ahiah on and off as visiting other churches for probably the last 10 years.
Wow. Yeah.
But it is really the last 3 years
Yeah.
that I have really felt an incredible pull of community here.
Yeah. And in fact, you became a member March of this year, as I recall.
I did. I
Yeah.
did. For anyone who knows me, I'm not a joiner, and I felt absolutely compelled to become a member of this church.
Wow. Thank you. So, what is it that you appreciate about Ahiah?
There are really so many things that I appreciate about this center, about this community. And first, it begins with the people here.
Yes.
There's one thing about this center that is really special, and one, it is non-judgmental.
Mm-hmm.
People accept you where you are, and you will end up someplace different, but people meet you where you are. And it truly is non-judgmental. And that's a really beautiful thing, because wherever you are in your life and whoever you are, this community accepts you.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that immediately.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's really quite beautiful. And I'm going to I have 3 other things that I think that this
Okay.
community does for me in terms of appreciation. Is that I appreciate about it is that it is so supportive.
Mm.
I remember in December I was hospitalized, and I simply sent a text. And you didn't know me really from Adam or Ann, really, is the truth. And I sent a text. No, I'm sorry, I left a voicemail, and I said my name, and I said I'm in the hospital, and I'd like for your support. And I have to say that as soon as I left that voicemail, I knew that I was being embraced by this community. I knew I had your support. And when I got home from the hospital, I had a card that stayed on my desk for 10 months because I knew that I had people that I did not know that were holding me in consciousness.
Yes.
And that is, we all want to be seen and heard and recognized for who we are. And I felt an incredible sense of community and support.
Perfect. Thank you. So, how has Ahiah shown up for you in helping you be more prosperous?
So it's apropos that Peter this morning, and we've actually never met in person, is that Peter spoke about forgetting our abundance. And one of the things that has been really apparent for me in terms of my prosperity and abundance is forgetting how prosperous I am. In terms of money changing hands, I always feel that there's plenty of money in the universe, and if I want it, it's mine. I've always felt that. But it is easy for me to, I think in abundance, it is easy, I'll speak for myself, to forget that abundance. And not just in terms of money, community, being acknowledged. I have become so much more aware of how I am blessed every single day in ways that I either poo-pooed or didn't even acknowledge were there. And it has created a different sense of awareness for me and also a generosity of spirit. I can't outgive God. And my heart and my spirit wants to give even more. And I have found over the last 2 years is that I have just wanted to give because it helps me to really remember how much I am given.
Yes.
So it's really been an incredible thing. And there's one other, and that's education. Education is power. And the classes that I've taken here, and I've studied science of mind. Actually, my father took me for the first time. I'm dating myself, and I'm proud of it. 35 years ago.
Yes.
But the education is power, and the sense of community that you get in that education is just so beautiful. So I just really want to thank Ahiah. I want to thank you for the prosperity, for the abundance, and making me aware, helping me to become a different level of consciousness of my prosperity and my abundance.
Yes. Perfect. Thank you. I'm always so proud of the membership that we have here, the people who have really decided that they want to be part of Ahiah and to really be with us during all the year. And so thank you, Charmaine. Let's give her another round of applause. And if you would like to be a member, you can go to ahiah.com/membership. It explains what we would like from you as a member. It's really about consciousness is what we're wanting to experience with you. And then you click at the bottom, there's a form that pops up, you fill out the form, and then I chat with you. And I would love, love, love to talk to you. So, and those of you online too, I would love to chat with you. So, this week, we have the talk title is Dancing the Music of God. And so last week we were talking about about the Prosperity Orchestra. So we're kind of switching our metaphors today, because instead of talking about us creating our own music, which we do, but we create it through God. So the music that we create is always the music of God. That's always, always true. And when, I told you last week that we had a group of 20 people that met for 8 weeks in order to put this whole thing on. And one of our members of Ahiah, he's a longtime member of Ahiah, he's out there cooking right now, and his name is Troy Mitchell. And he said a few interesting things as we were talking about the music of God. He said, music is one of the original 7 arts and sciences. It agitates our passion, melts us in tenderness, or incites us to war. You know? And the music, like Clark singing and the band this morning, right? It lifts us, it swells us up, it takes us someplace. And music can take us to all sorts of places. It can incite us to war if we let it. Or it can give us a moment of tenderness, or it can open our heart to the divine. And when we hear that music, our feet start tapping. We just can't quite help it. And when we are moving, then we're dancing. We're dancing to the music that God is. And so that dance, that music, and us dancing, the music is what gives us the structure in our lives, right? Our life is created by putting things on top of the structure that God is. And so, that music that is the truth of us, and the dances that are the truth of us, there's many, many ways of dancing, right? Even, just dancing, right? There's so many ways to dance. But what we want to make sure of is that, the dance that we're doing is kind of the dance that people around us are doing, right? Because we want people to come together and dance in community. And so, we want to be hearing similar music. We want to be dancing to that music. If you're trying to do, who of you guys watch So You Think You Can Dance? I'm a big So You Think You Can Dance guy. I love watching that show. And so I've learned through that all these different forms of dance, right? And so there's the paso doble, which is, the guy is supposed to be, it's almost like a bullfight, I think. The guy is supposed to be this really proper guy, and all stern. And, if your partner is dancing the jitterbug, while you're doing the paso doble, it doesn't quite work, right? You step on each other's toes, and you bump against people. And so we want to sort of be in community, dancing similar dances, listening to similar music. In my 30s, that was a few years ago, but in my early 30s, I started going and taking step classes at the gym. And I loved that. And I did that for more than 15 years. And I used to go do step aerobics 5 days a week. And it was great. It's a great exercise for you. And but I started out, when I first started, I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to do that dance. And so I had to start. And the first things that you do is you learn to hear the beat, right? So let's see if this is going to play here. You hear the beat? Yeah. Tina's back there rocking with us. And so, this is one of my favorites from the old days, right? Raining Men, yes, sir. So, I know that's what Peter says. That's prosperity. So, the first thing you have to do is you have to hear the beat. If you can't hear the beat, you cannot do a step class. But then the next thing that you're doing is you're learning to just get up and down off the step. up and down to the beat of the music. And then after a while, you progress on. And if you don't start with the basics, you'll never get to that advanced class. You just never will. And that's true here. Charmaine mentioned education classes here. And, we have classes that start you at the beginning. We do them twice a year. In September, beginning of September, in summer, in the beginning of June, we do the foundations class. And then the beginning of January, we do the Beyond Limits class. And both of those classes, they're slightly different. So if you've taken one and haven't taken the other, feel free. It's good stuff. But they both ground us in understanding this philosophy. They ground us in the understanding of prayer and affirmation and meditation. They ground us in the understanding of the creative process. And even if you know it, but it's been a while, it's good to take those classes so that when you go to the advanced, level of aerobics classes where you learn to go more than just up and down, now you're twirling around the step and, your arms are going all over the place in every which direction. And you really need to know what you're doing. And for that, we have classes like, Patricia Roach is teaching right now from Whence We Came. And we have a couple of people in that class that are getting ready to go into practitioner training in September. So we're going to have Prac 1 in September. So, and there's more than those two people who I know have class credits that are very, very close. So I'll be calling you. See if you want to, if you're interested in going into practitioner training, because we have 10 beautiful, wonderful practitioners here at this center. But why not 20, right? It just makes the community stronger. So we learn to start listening to the beat, and then we start dancing to the beat. And we start to understand how spirit moves through our lives then. And so I want to tell you about 2 ways. These are things that we would cover in foundations or Beyond Limits. There's 2 laws, 2 ways of looking at how spirit interacts with us that I want to tell you about today. One is the law of attention. And the law of attention just basically says that we attract what we put our attention to in our lives. It's very simple, right? But the question is really a little more difficult when we ask ourselves, where do I put my attention? Because it's not just what I put my attention on when I decide to pick up a book and read it. It's where do I put my attention when I'm out in the world? Right? When I'm interacting with my friends, when I'm on the freeway, that's my personal big problem, right? When I'm on the freeway, when I am, doing whatever I'm doing, what am I doing? How am I showing up? And so, the thing that we have to actually notice, this is the important thing about our intention. What is it that we're filtering out? Because I can guarantee you that everything that you could ever put your attention on is already present in life. It's already there. I just don't notice it. Try this out. Has anybody ever decided that they're going to buy a particular car? So in their mind, they decide, I'm going to go buy a gray Prius. And then suddenly, as Reverend Mike would say, auto-magically, right? The world is just filled with gray Priuses. That's not true, right? They're there, but they were always there. They were there before you noticed them. But you have put your attention on them, right? And that's the law of attention. And so here's the other thing that's really important. The universe doesn't hear you say no. So when you say something like, I will have peace as soon as everybody around me is quiet. No more talking. Right? As soon as you say that, oh, you better put on your earmuffs because, you know, everybody is going to be yelling around you, right? You're going to hear yelling on the TV. You're going to hear the children in the neighborhood yelling. Your spouse is going to be yelling. The people living around you are going to be yelling. Everybody's going to be yelling. Because, you know, it's as if Spirit doesn't hear the word no. And it's because you're putting your attention on yelling. When I said I didn't want it, I'm really actually putting my attention there. And everything that is not like that, you know, everything that is yelling is going to show up. Now, Thomas Troward, he tells us, it's on the screen here, he says, what we shall eventually attain is not what we merely wish, but what we regard as normal. What we regard as normal, that's what's going to show up in our lives. So how does normal get created? How is it that we create our own normal? Well, it's where we put our attention. Just as simple as that. Where we put our attention is what we see as normal. What we see as normal is what shows up in our lives. And so from a prosperity standpoint, what do you want to put into your attention? You're going to want to start seeing all the good that is around you. And that is what you're going to then see more and more of. The second one is the law of circulation. Now, the law of circulation is very simple, very, very simple. You start out with giving. And because you've given, you end up in this circulation, you end up in the flow, and you start receiving. And the same is true the other way. If you start out with receiving, that naturally leads you to giving. And so when you live your life in the flow or as the flow, right? We learned last year not to say being in the flow. We learned 2 years ago actually was being the flow. So when we are the flow, then we're going to both give to receive and receive to give. And that shows up however you're doing it. But here's the thing. Here's the ticket. When you are receiving, what are you receiving? You're receiving all of God's good. Right? All that Spirit is sending out, because Spirit is always the source. You're never receiving from anybody. You're receiving from Spirit. And then when you're giving, well, you're the source of your own giving because you're choosing what you're going to give out into the universe. That's your choice. And so, you know, as we get into this infinite cycle of giving and receiving, we just start recognizing the source of Spirit as the source of what I'm giving out too. It's just a cycle. So I want to give you a key to receiving. There's a woman, her name is Mary O'Malley, who says it pretty well, I think. She says, opening to life brings you into full engagement with what is happening rather than keeping you caught in a conversation about life. So as we open up to receiving what life is giving us, we quit talking about life. We quit talking about receiving, and we actually get into the actual act of receiving. She goes on to say, it means giving up your war with what life is bringing you. How many of you have looked at something life is giving you today, right now? Just think about it for a second. And you're like, I don't want that. That's not what I want. And sometimes the receiving of life isn't, it doesn't bring that feeling of fullness if our attention is put on the wrong things. I want to tell you a story. I actually wrote about it. If you want to read it a little bit more detail, you can go to the newsletter from Friday, and it's in the inspirational thought. But I'll give you the synopsis. Basically, I wrote this on Friday morning after I lived it on Thursday. And Thursday started out to be such a great day. I woke up and it was beautiful weather on Thursday, and I went out and I went to take the dog for a walk. And my walks with my dogs are like the highlight of my day. And so I'm out there, I do 5.5 miles, and I get home, and I'm just full to overflowing. Everything is good in my life. Well, but then, right? But then I needed to go fix the toilet because, it quit filling up. And also there's been, I've suspected that there's been a little bit of leaking going on. So, it's time to fix that too. So you had to take the toilet off. And I found out with the contractors 20 years ago, that they hadn't installed the toilet quite right. And that was annoying, right? And so that annoyed me. So I'd gone from a high, and now I'm down a little bit lower, all right? And then I found out that Arlene Toy had passed away, And Arlene, she was one of the first people that I met here at Ahiah when I first came. And so that took me down another layer. And then, I, for 40 years, it's a long time, I've been getting together with the same group of people on Thursday night. And so I went and I got together with them, and I thought, this will bring me back up. But it didn't. And then I was annoyed with them because they didn't bring me back up. And, at the end of our time together, I'm at home and I'm like, I'm frothing at the mouth, seriously. And I'm like, okay, I have got to reset this because this is not where I want to be. And so I'd already had this lovely walk in the morning. I went and had another walk. It's 9:00 at night, and I'm like, all right, I know I have to go do my spiritual practice. And so the question was to me as I was doing that walk was, well, Spirit, what are you trying to show me? What is it that I need to recognize in this? And, the first things that popped up into mind were just the litany of all the things that had gone wrong. And it's okay, because I went ahead and allowed my ego to tell me that litany again. But then I just, wiped that clean and just said, okay, I've heard that enough today. Let me go from my head to my heart. And what does my heart want me to know? And my heart wanted me to know that, be grateful. Sit in the gratitude that, first of all, I was able to fix the toilet. No harm, no foul. It's fixed. It's done. 3 hours of work. It's taken care of. Everything is put in absolutely correctly. The toilet is going to be great forever. And, know the truth of Arlene. Know the truth of this sweet spirit moving on. And be grateful for my friends. I don't know anybody else from 40 years ago. Nobody. These particular people have followed along with me for 40 years. How grateful can I be for that? And so, what is it that we're doing? By doing that, I just connected with the flip side of the coin. Rather than being annoyed, I went to gratitude. And as soon as I walked back into the house, it was all good, right? My life, I was back to the same high that I had been at that morning with Ganesh. So either there's some magic in the walks, right? Or there's a magic in the process. I think there's a magic in the process. So that's the key to receiving, is to recognize the good that's actually coming. The second thing is the key to giving. What is the key to giving? Well, here's the thing about giving. Here's where we mix it up wrong so often. I give Peter something. Maybe I give him my love. And it's my expectation that he gives back to me. That's the wrong way to give. It is unfortunately the way that we've been taught to give, though. We've been taught to give our love conditionally, for instance, right? I'm going to love you when. And so when I give my love, or I give of my time, my talent, my treasure, wherever I give to, what I want to do is I want to receive from everywhere. Everywhere. So I can give my love to Peter and he can be snippy back at me. It's okay. I'm picking on Peter today, but I love him. He can be snippy back at me and it's okay, because I'm going to receive love from everybody else. Maybe not everybody, but everywhere else. And that is really the key for me of receiving. Give my love unconditionally and receive it back from everywhere. So I want to leave you with an affirmation today. And it's here on our screen. It's very simple. It says, go ahead and read it with me. I dance the rhythm of the infinite prosperity that is all around me. Let's say that one more time. I dance the rhythm of the infinite prosperity that is all around me. And so as you go out into your week this week, what I'd like for you to do is hear the music of God. It's playing just for you. There is a particular rhythm, particular beat that is meant for you. And then when you hear that beat, start dancing, right? It's easy to dance. You just hear the beat and you move with it. And then let go of your good and where it's going to be coming from. Just allow the good to come in wherever you are. And as always, if you're not quite sure, if it's not quite ringing for you in this moment, just let Spirit guide you. Thank you. Namaste. So I know there's food over there, so I'm going to do a short prayer. So just join me in, and Chris is going to play underneath me. Just join with me in really anchoring these concepts. And so I just fall down into that place inside of me, which is the only place that Spirit is. The place inside me that knows that it knows that it knows this life, this power, this presence that God is, the magnificence, the opulence, the love and the peace and the joy that God is. I know that at the very core of my being, always, always, always. And as that's the truth of me, I know it to be the truth of you that are here, those who are online. In fact, it is the truth of the entire world. That this life moves through us and as us with ease and with grace. And so it's from that place of knowingness that I speak my word as the truth of each and every one of us, that this life is moving through us as love and as peace and as joy, and that love is the love that we give freely, and it is just reflected back to us from anywhere and everywhere. We just see it for the truth of what it is. And it becomes revealed in our life in a way that great Prius was always there. The love that God is always there too. And I get to know it once I put my attention on it. Once I quit filtering out the possibility of that love coming to me from everywhere, I know it. I feel it. I am it. I know absolutely that this prosperity and abundance that God is, it fills me up to full and overflowing in all the things that I need, in all the ways that I need to show up in order for me to grow, to move forward with joy and confidence and ease. And I just give thanks for that knowingness. I give thanks for the recognition and the realization of Spirit being the source of my life. And I say, life and God are good and very good. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. Amen. And so just a couple of short announcements. Actually, we're going to do the conscious contribution first. Let's not skip that one. So for those of you who are online, we have 3 different ways that you can give. You can go to ahiah.com/donate and give online that way, or you can text to give at 616, not 626, 616-229-2225. Or last fall, you can mail in a check and just write me a little note. I love reading those notes that you send. And so you can write in a check and send it to our address showing here on the screen. If you're here today, and we've got lots of people, lots of hungry people here today, and if you're not here, but you're close, most of our congregation lives within 5 or 10 minutes, so, just get in the car and come on down. We're going to have plenty of food out there. And so, but if you are here, go ahead and place your contribution in an envelope if you haven't given some other way. And we'll have a plate at the exits when we go. And so, however you're giving, let's just go ahead and take that and put it to our hearts. And just read the affirmation along with me. This gift I give is God in action. I send it forth with joy, confidence, and ease. I am blessed by the law of giving and receiving as I now share my gift with life. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And so it is. Amen and amen. And so just a couple of announcements, and then I'll have Clark come on up. I want to remind you that we have practitioners. You can connect with them on our website by going to ahiah.com/meetourpractitioners. We can also support you in prayer. There's prayer envelopes in the pews, or Jackie's holding one up there, and you put it in the box right back in the corner as you go out this one. Or you can go to ahiah.com/prayers. We would love to support you. There's also Dial a Prayer. And I want to remind you that our youth program is going on out there, just strong. We love having them. And we're going to have them come to our window here in just a couple minutes, as soon as we're done with our song. And then mastermind meetings are continuing to go. So we've done 1 week. We have 3 more weeks. So if you haven't been to one, just go ahead and go to our website, ahiah.com/prosperity, and sign up for one so that we can tell you how to get there and get you the document that has all the stuff in there for you. And otherwise, I will be having one here at 2 o'clock after our Ahiah family picnic. So either way, there's plenty of opportunities for you. We have the Ahiah family picnic out those doors right after service. And so now let's go ahead and have Clark come up. He's going to sing us on out of here.
This is an old Negro spiritual song that some of you probably know. I did when I was a kid. My mom used to sing this when I was a kid growing up. It's called God Don't Move the Mountains. And I learned through that when God doesn't move the mountain, he gives you the strength to go through that. You can learn from it. And sometimes I do cheat. I say, God, I really don't feel like it today. Can you just give me a helping hand? And you know what? He does, but he doesn't do it all the time. Anyway, I want to share this with you, okay? Here we go. Lord, don't move my mountains. Forgive me the strength to climb. And Lord, don't move that stumbling block. But Lord, lead me all around. All right. You can stand up if you want. Come on. Lord, don't move the mountain. Forgive me the strength to climb. And Lord, don't move that stumbling block. But Lord, lead me all around. The way may not be easy. God, you said that it would not be. For you help those who try to help themselves. And I do believe, Lord, we should. Oh, Lord, don't move the mountain. But give me the strength to climb. And Lord, don't move that stumbling block. But Lord, lead me all around. Now when my foe will slay me, and this that you said that they would, but oh Lord, don't touch him, but within his heart, make him give his heart to you. Oh Lord, don't move the mountain, but give me the strength to climb. And Lord, don't move that stumbling block, but Lord, lead me all around. Take it, come on. To you, and these things, God, you said that we could. For you help those who try to help themselves, and I do believe, Lord, we could. Oh Lord, don't move the mountain, but give me the strength to climb. And oh Lord, don't move that stumbling block, but Lord, lead me all around. Oh, I said, Lord, don't move the mountain, but give me the strength to climb. And oh Lord, don't move that stumbling block, but Lord, lead me all around. Oh, Lord, don't move the mountain, but give me the strength to climb. Lord, don't move that stumbling block, but Lord, lead me all around.
Yes. So if somebody could open the center one there, that would be great. And and we'll go ahead and say the benediction, and then we got some kids coming in. And so I think I'm going to try this one. Hey there. Hello. Yes. Yeah, sure. Why? Let's see. Well, Harris could tell us where he's got the spot at the door. So if you guys could join Lisa at the door, because we have lots and lots and lots of people who want to see you online. Wow.
Good morning. Our second week of youth church, and we're all going to introduce ourselves. We'll start down here with our helpers.
Hello, I'm Mr. Malachi.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Hannah.
Hey,
Malachi,
Hannah, thank
our
you.
assistants, they helped a lot.
I'm Akani and I'm 12 years old.
Uh-huh.
Jason.
And how old are you, Jason?
10.
10.
Has everybody
All right.
seen Jason's mask? It's pretty amazing.
I do. I love it.
Your name?
Phoebe.
Phoebe. How old are you,
Phoebe.
Phoebe?
12.
I'm Perry and I'm 12.
I'm Asia and I'm 12.
Hey, we got the contingent of 12-year-olds going.
Can you give me your name? Say real loud. What's your name?
Samaya.
Perfect. Nice voice. How old are you, Samaya?
4.
Good. Lyra likes to hold her own microphone. Go ahead. What is your name?
Lyra.
How old are you, Lyra?
4.
Thank you.
Lyra.
Did I get everybody? So we created, what is this, Akani?
This is a thankful pumpkin where we wrote what we're thankful for on it.
And we wanted to give it to Reverend Scott for
Oh,
the month of November.
thank you. You know, we're going to place this right up here because we're in the middle of prosperity, and there's nothing like being grateful,
Yes.
right? All right.
Thank you.
Well, up here on our screen is our benediction. So let's go ahead and say the benediction. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all my affairs. I accept it. I am it, and I share it. Just the way it appears and just the way it appears not. Thank you, life. Amen and amen. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for those of you online. I will see you next week. And for everybody that's here, let's go find some food.
Put that right there.